Oh, one of my favorite events all year long, 2024 NFL Draft. We're going to have a Ravens mock draft in this one here as well, but we're going to have a full NFL mock draft, one round here at the start. So definitely check us out here. We're going to go ahead and post that for those that missed it there as well. But definitely we're going to go over all the first round mock draft. What do you look for in a mock draft? Now, couple things. One, not just what you personally would do. Okay, that's not the way I do it. Some of this is predictive. Some of this is part what I think the team will do. Okay, what the teams will do. What would the team? Certain offenses, like you're going to see it early, it's more scheme fit sometimes than it is just the team or whatever, than just a player that I would actually like. Some of it is what you actually like, what you actually think. Maybe you leave off somebody that you actually think. Other part of it is as well the history of the organization as well. So it's not just what you think they will do or what they need, not what the need is. Obviously, that factors in, but also to organizational history. What does a team usually do in this situation? So all that stuff factors into the mock draft. So busy doing this, watching this. So let's go ahead and get it squared away because we got drama here right at the top here. Mock draft. Chicago Bears, they have the number one overall pick. This is Carolina's pick. They got it in the trade last year with Bryce Young. They're going to pick first. Caleb Williams, USC quarterback. This is very strange for a number one pick here. Very couple things here that's unusual for a number one pick. One, they weren't the worst team. Okay, so they finished. They weren't good, but they didn't finish first. They don't have a brand new coach. They don't have a brand new GM. Okay, Justin Fields, the current quarterback, is still there, pretty young, and he's very popular. So I've never seen anything like so. It's a little bit unusual. So I think that's kind of throwing off some people for saying it for sure. I think they're pretty crazy to pass. Caleb Williams is sensational. I think you got to dial down the Mahomes a little bit right away off the bat because he's a rookie, but he's terrific. He does everything well, off schedule, on schedule. Has a deep ball. He's not overly big. I think some people are worried about the size, but he's really good. No question about it. Caleb Williams, number one. Number two, Commanders. Washington Commanders. I think they take Jaden Daniels with the second pick. Scheme fit here. I think you're splitting hairs between him and Drake May, but I think it's scheme fit. I think with Cliff Kingsbury there, running his offense, he had Kyler Murray there. He had Patrick Mahomes in college. I think he could see Jalen Daniels and be similar to him. A guy, I think this is, the Lamar Jackson. Jalen Daniels was fantastic in LSU. So there's no question about it. Who's the head coach? Not just the coordinator, head coach Dan Quinn. All those years, who do you have? Russell Wilson there too. So you see that. So it makes sense. Scheme fit there as well. And we will see how that goes. I think that's number two. Another quarterback, Drake May. I think they're left with Drake May third. I think this is not bad for New England at all. I think it's a lot of smoke thinking that they won't take Drake May. They should be happy with this. Drake May, I see a lot of Justin Herbert. I don't think he's quite what Caleb Williams is. I think with the difference between him and Daniels, I think it's do you want the passer or do you want the all-around guy? That's the thing. And I think Drake May's terrific. I think Drake May has the best arm of all three of these guys. Throws the ball off schedule, throws the ball, good deep ball, good intermediate stuff. I think Drake May is terrific. So Drake May, I have him at third, New England. I don't think they trade down either. I'm not buying that. I don't think they trade down. In the first four, I don't think they trade down. Marvin Harrison, I think he's the best receiver I've seen in the last couple of years. He's got his famous father, Marvin Harrison, who's a Hall of Famer. So obviously he's been playing wide receiver his whole life. You can see it. Very polished. He reminds me a lot of Jerry Rice. I love the way he runs. It looks like he's gliding into gear. That's why some of the speed criticism, I don't buy it because he doesn't even look like he's running hard. Just a lot like Rice. So, Harrison, these four, I can't imagine anybody jumping up and getting ahead of these four, whatever order they're in. So Harrison, I think, is number four. Dunze, Roma Dunze for the Washington Huskies for the Chargers. Now I think the draft kind of starts here. LA Chargers, right? So Jim Harbaugh, this is his first pick. Saw some mocks taking a tight end here. I don't think he's going to take a tight end. I think you need a receiver. Quentin Johnson didn't do so well last year. You still have injury issues with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. I think Adunze, I think, is a good pick here. Adunze, I think his hands are terrific. Love his hands. Love how he catches the football. Love the way he plays with that. A lot of Larry Fitzgerald I see with him. Not quite that good, but great hands. Attacks the football when he catches it. So I like Adunze, number 5 for the Chargers. Number 6, another terrific receiver for the Giants, Malik Neighbors. Number 5 for LSU. Some people might think that he's better than Adunze. I got no real problem with that. He's not far behind. I think he's very complete as a receiver. Great hands. I think he's faster in terms of pure speed. If they ran a 40, I don't know exactly what his 40 time was, but he's probably got a better 40 time than the other two. But he's complete. He can run routes. Caught from a great quarterback, really helped. I mean, some of the jump that Dayton Daniels helped, it definitely contributed to how good Malik Neighbors was. So outstanding stuff from him. And Malik Neighbors definitely top 6. I think the Giants are not going to pass on him. Titans, number 7, Joe Alt. Joe Alt is a terrific. I think there's pretty good space between everybody else and Joe Alt at offensive tackle. Joe Alt, he's one of these guys I talked about a little bit last week, Pancake City. he's gonna knock you down. He's gonna knock you down. He's gonna knock you down. He'll take one guy, pancake him, take one guy. Now take him out. Now there's plenty of room on the outside for the run game or the pass. Pretty good space here. Excellent athlete, overall athlete. Joe Alt. Titans, I think need it. Doesn't matter. I think and it's a great hit rate with left tackles like this. This guy's gonna play left tackle for 10 years if he stays healthy. Best pass rusher, Dallas Turner for Alabama. I think in some years maybe he's not the best pass rusher, but I think he definitely is. I think the Falcons are definitely not going to take on him. I think Falcons, I don't know what they would do with the quarterback. They passed on Lamar Jackson. But I think this is a pretty safe way to go. I think you're going to take a guy like this, first defensive player. I think he's really, really good. I got no problem with this. Taking Dallas Turner. Taking Dallas Turner with the 8th pick. Terran Arnold, cornerback, Alabama as well. He's really good as well. I think he's the top cornerback. I think they're looking for a cornerback help. I know the Bears, I mean, they're picking first, so they're going to take Malik Neighbors. I think they just got rid of Eddie Jackson. They just franchised Jalen Johnson. I think they're definitely looking for cornerback help in the backfield. I think this is probably your next best defensive player. Maybe they take an edge rush here, but I think the corner, I think this makes a lot of sense taking him here. Terran Arnold, outstanding corner for Alabama. The Penn State, the tackle for Penn State, having trouble saying his name. Watched him play many times. Technically sound. Sometimes that kind of gets lost with that. This is why he's so high. He's not nearly the athlete Joe Alt is, not by a long shot. He's in the top 10 because he's great technically sound. I love his balance, like when I watch him play. Even like when you think you got him pushed over or you got an advantage on him, you really don't, because he's really good at keeping his feet under him. That matters. I think he's very polished for a young player like that. The Jets absolutely need to protect Aaron Rodgers. I think he's actually a good choice there, going number 10. Also, Talise Fuaga, tackle for Oregon State. I think the Vikings go ahead and snap him up. A lot of these tackles are going to go early. He's not, I would say with him, possibly a right tackle there. So I think they have a left tackle there with Dershow. So I think like the right tackle is a good choice for him. I definitely believe he's top 10. He's right outside the top 10. Definitely a guy. Definitely, I think the best pure right tackle that you can take. So I definitely think he is very, very good. could go J.C. Latham here, but I like him here. I think the fit there in Minnesota is pretty good. May have a new quarterback, so I think that. And again, tackles like it's a good way to go. Good way to go. A lot of tackles here in the first round, so I think that's a good way to go. Broncos, Bo Nix of Oregon. Look, just got rid of Russell Wilson. Oh, that cap hit's insane. We're going to talk about that. That's just bananas. I think maybe more than even the first 3 teams, they're going to take a quarterback. Why? They ain't got a choice. You got all this money you spent on Russell. You took all this cap hit, and you got no second round pick. So what do? You're gonna take a quarterback. So I think it's Bo Nix. Overdrafting a bit. I think he's about 20 or so, but I don't think the Broncos have a choice. I don't think they can wait. They don't. And again, they can't pick it the next round or later first. I think if they like Penix or something, it could be that. It could be McCarthy. I don't think they'll take him that high, but we'll see with that. Here's a team I think that would roll the dice here and take a tight end high. I think it's the Raiders. It's Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is a top 5 talent. I don't love him the way everybody else loves it. I don't love it. But he's easy best tight end. Definitely deserving of a first round grade. I think top 5 is stretching it a bit with him. I think this is about the area he's going to go. I think the Raiders will absolutely take a chance on him. I mean, it's the Raiders. They're going to do unconventional things. So I definitely like the opportunity. I definitely think the Raiders will take a guy. This is our best player available type pick. J.C. Latham for Alabama, number 14. Latham is pretty good. He's actually better than I thought. I think I said that last week too. But he's better than I thought he was. Definitely got better athlete than I thought he was. Big guy, great size. He could play left side. I think like you see a guy this size, like when they're 360, you think of like right tackle, Mauler. He's an all-around tight end. I think he's better than what people think. Just got to make sure his conditioning is right. But he's really good. Big guy. Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson. Colts need some help in the secondary. Definitely, they're going to start Anthony Richardson at quarterback. They went ahead and franchised Michael Pittman the other day. So I think on offense, they're pretty solidified. I think they're still looking for some help on defense as well. I think Wiggins is kind of getting slept on a bit. A lot of talk about Quentin Mitchell, but I think Wiggins is really good. Him and Arnold, I think they're pretty much to me, I have them as the best ones here. So I think the Colts, I definitely will take a look at that. All right, getting towards the middle. Shazran Newton, Illinois, defensive tackle. Look, Mike McDonald likes these big inside guys. He's not going to have Matabuki anymore to run, but I think he's going to look. I think that's kind of like what he's thinking about here. Here's a guy who can rush the passer. I think as a run stopper, he's somewhat overrated. I think he's a little smallish, but I think Mike McDonald's defense is probably a good fit for him. He's a guy that can go ahead and play like a 3-4 end and really do damage. I think that's a guy. I think that's kind of where he lives. I think Seattle, is a good fit for him where he can do that. Definitely got the talent to do that. I think he's a little small for a 3 technique, right? But that 3-4 end, he can really do some damage. I think that's a good fit for him. Jared Verse for the Jags. So yes, Jags are still. Why not take a guy like this? Why not take a guy who's an excellent pass rusher from the state of Florida that you're familiar with? I don't think he's as good as Dallas Turner. I think he's probably the second best one on the board. I'd like to have seen a little bit more production from him, a little bit more consistency, but he's really good. I definitely think he's a guy. I don't know if he starts. I don't know if he kills right away, but I think he's on a team a little less pressure. This is about a good place to take him. Keon Coleman for the Florida State Seminoles going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals went ahead, franchised T. Wiggins. They still may be losing Tyler Boyd. They may be losing Higgins next year. I don't think they're going to be able to afford it. I think they do look at the future and take the guy I think is the best route runner in the I don't know if he's the best route runner. I don't know about that. But the best 50-50 guy, I think, probably next to Marvin Harrison. I'm not worried about the 40 time because he's a big, strong guy. Some teams may drop him because of the 40 time. I think he probably stays. I think you get it. And here, he doesn't have to play right away. He can develop. He got 2 good receivers in front of him. So I do like the fit there for Cincinnati. Maris Mims played at Georgia for Todd Monken, once upon a time offense. Uh, he's a little green. I think athletically, he's second to nobody. I think as an athlete, you watch him and he looks like you see some of that Joe Alt, some of that guy who's done a lot of that athleticism, that pancakes, and then you see it, and then but other times he looks a little green. So I think that's an interesting pick. I think absolutely Sean McVay's not going to pass on Sean McVay. They need linemen there. I definitely think they'll take him 19. Steelers 20. Jackson Powers Johnson. So this is elementary. The Steelers always do it elementary. They went ahead and got rid of Mason Cole. They need a center. This is easily the best center in the draft. I know some of you Steelers fans maybe want to take a quarterback or whatever, but that's a whole other thing. But I think this is exactly what the Steelers are going to do. Jackson Powers is probably the only center I think worth taking in the first round. Absolutely makes sense. They might take a tackle, might do that, but I don't think they pass on this guy. He's their excellent choice. Jordan Morgan, Arizona. Good, solid all-around offensive tackle. So definitely there's a team there. Look, Arstead getting older. Definitely have to protect Tua with those concussions and everything he's had. Definitely take a guy here. Morgan, I don't know if it's a day one starter, bit of a project. I think project is too short. I think he can start pretty early, but maybe not right away, minute one. Lalutu from UCLA. He is defensive end, offensive tackle. I'm sorry, defensive end, edge rush. You can put it at that. I think he's as good as Jared Forrest. I think he's going to slip, frankly, because of his medical. He has a severe medical issue that he's had, and it's reported. I think that is going to scare teams off. Not the Eagles, though. Eagles they never have enough pass rush. So I definitely think the Eagles is a good spot for him. He could definitely fit right in. Jalen Carter and all those guys they have. They're going to have Brandon Graham when we get. So, yeah, it's a good spot for him to kind of come in and learn. Cooper DeJean, one of those Kirk Ferentz for Iowa. He's really good. He can play corner. I got no problem with that. I don't know what they're going to do exactly because he could play corner. Really see him as a good safety, though. Really think as a safety, you're going to get a lot more production from him right away. But it'd be interesting to see. A team might put him at corner, but I could definitely see safety. I think he's the number one safety, kind of like Brian Branch. I think either where you put him, he'll be fine. I think you can put him in either spot. Tyler Guyton for Oklahoma. So how many times have the Cowboys taken a guy from Oklahoma? He's good. I really think he's pretty good. I think you kind of put him in the category with Mims, a little green. Not a great combine, but I don't think they pass. Cowboys losing Tyron Smith. They definitely have to replenish on the offensive line. Maybe they're extending Dak Prescott. Definitely need it. They got to do some rebuilding of the line. I think this guy goes and helps them. Quentin Mitchell from Toledo. I think defense is where they got to go. It's a little bit of a small school guy, but he's really moving up the boards there. I think like a Green Bay is a great place for him. They kind of do very well with some of these small school guys. You could kind of come in. The defense is already pretty good. I think this is a good fit for him as well, going to Green Bay. Great speed, this guy. Great speed. Quentin Mitchell. A little bit more here. Tony Fonanu. Hopefully I'm saying it right. From guard from Washington. I didn't put tackle, but he can play tackle. Depends on where he is. I think putting him at guard, I think, is probably the most value for him. He's a big, strong guy. Big, strong guy. Definitely he got the size to go ahead and play guard. Definitely has the talent, the foot speed. So definitely lots of talent and ability from him to do that. Byron Murphy for Texas. I don't love him the way everybody else loves him. I'm not in. He's good. I kind of like him putting him and Newton in the same category. I think like you're running a 3-man line, 4-man line all the time with him inside. I think he's got to bulk up a bit. I think you put him at an end 3-4. I think it's perfect. I think that's kind of the case with him. So definitely going to a Cardinals team with good pass rushers already can kind of go in the rotation, and that definitely will work. Bills. Brian Thomas, LSU. They need receivers. I don't know what's going on with Diggs in the offseason. I don't know what's going on with him and Allen, but they definitely need it. I think they're taking a receiver. This guy, I think, is slipping a bit more than I think you're going to see him on some boards, like 28 for the Bills. They got to be thrilled with taking this guy. This guy is absolutely a polished receiver, easy first rounder. I think I could definitely see him going 10 spots higher. But on this board, this is probably so many teams need offensive tackle. I think they got to be thrilled with that, Brian Thomas. Braylon Trice for the Lions, definitely looking for a partner on the other side with Aiden Hutchinson. So definitely they could use that. Big secondary need. So I think they're going to do that. I could definitely see secondary as well, but definitely the other side at the end and the secondary is where they're going to go. I think Braylon Trice, I don't think you pass on that. Baltimore Ravens. Lad McConkey. We're going to do a Ravens full draft here, but McConkey is really good. You know what I said? I said Wes Welker with him. You know what he is? Older school, Ed McCaffrey. He's got this. You're gonna put him in a slot right now as he's developing, but eventually he could definitely play outside and do that. The only thing is separation for his size and speed. I don't know why he's not getting more separation. But good news is he's great in traffic. So even if he never gets it, maybe he can make a career doing it in traffic. 49ers, T'Vondre Sweat from Texas. Big guy. Size. Nothing wrong with building that defensive line that the Niners have. Nothing wrong with that. They're pretty stacked on offense. They're pretty stacked on the other side. But I think getting a young defensive tackle, they're going to keep. Nothing wrong with building that up. And Xavier Worthy. You know, we want to say they need to take a receiver, but they won 2 straight Super Bowls without it. But I don't think you pass on Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, his speed is a thing. Well, if you can run 4.2, that's fast. Sub 4.3, that's fast. That's not just running the mill. That's no joke. So I think they finished the first round with Xavier Worthy. There you go. Mock draft, whole league 1.0. So definitely check